And the Wealthy Teacher Show is brought to you by the Philanthropreneur Foundation, building capacity of nonprofits through education, awareness, and resources. Also sponsored by Las Vegas Health and Fitness Chamber of Commerce, vegashealthfitnesschamber.com. We're also brought to you by the Philanthropreneur Foundation Training Center, which brings you nuts and bolts NPO training, fundraising fundamentals with Linda Lizakowski, ACFRE, our Lunch and Learn series, and the Philanthropreneur Peer Circle. You can find all of these sessions and courses at philanthropreneur-foundation.eventbrite.com. And I welcome you to the Wealthy Teacher Show. Here I am, your host, Dr. Victoria Boyd. And as always, I'm excited to bring you another episode of All Things Wealthy. No, just joking. Okay, we talk to so many interesting people in the community, and we have another one. What can I say? I met Edie probably 4 or 5 months ago. We were at a Toastmasters meeting. I had no clue what I was doing there, but I had always been curious as to what they really did, and it was quite interesting. And I went to a couple months of it, and I heard your story, and it's quite interesting. And we're going to get into your story in just a few moments, but you were one of those that would always get up and was eager to speak. And so it became quite interesting as I watched you evolve in that whole process. But as we're here in Las Vegas, and as I always say, nobody's from Las Vegas.
No.
And so I really want to go into, once again, a little bit of how your journey brought you here. And I understand it's really a part of your whole story. So tell us about Edie O'Reilly.
Thank you, Dr. Boyd. I'm originally from Northern California, really Northern California, actually not far from Reno, Nevada, in a little town called Susanville.
Okay.
So that's where I'm originally from. But more recently, my husband is from Ireland, and we lived in Ireland.
Okay.
And then we decided to move back here to the United States. And he got a job here in Vegas.
Wow.
Before, I would never choose Vegas, but then we got here and actually liked it, so we stayed. But shortly after we arrived, I found out I was pregnant with my third son.
Okay.
He was one of those babies where it wasn't planned, and so it was like, The pregnancy was typical and normal, and then when he was born with multiple health issues. And I'm going to back up just a smidge because before moving to Vegas, I was living in Ireland and I had my own business. My background is in Ayurvedic medicine.
What is Ayurvedic?
Ayurvedic medicine is a natural healing system that comes from India, and it teaches you how to use your food as medicine, how to use body treatments to heal the body, and it really encompasses the whole of the person.
Okay, understood. Yep.
And so I was coaching individuals how to be healthy naturally in Ireland.
Okay.
Then moving back to the States, having just come from coaching, also in meditation and yoga, I found out I was pregnant, and then when Connor was born, he had multiple health issues. That hit me in a whole different way because of my background.
Okay.
Because I thought I knew everything there was
About health
about health and how to be healthy and have a healthy pregnancy.
And plus you had probably been practicing what you
Oh,
preach.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked the walk.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I had 2 healthy other boys. So when Connor came along, he came along with all his bags of tricks. And we were in the neonatal ICU for 8 full months.
Wow.
And for the 5 of those months, he struggled to survive.
Okay.
It was a touch and go for those 5 months. And in the 5th month, he contracted bacterial meningitis, which was a double whammy.
Yeah.
And it was during that day of realizing this is probably it that I sort of let go and had a big revelation in the process of the situation is what it is, but your happiness does not determine what the situation looks like.
I sort of call that the E plus R equals O theory.
Okay.
E, shit happens.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. My show. Events happen in your life.
Yes.
But it's your response
That.
of what the outcome will be.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And the amazing thing that happened when I let go is Connor improved.
oh, okay. The
And
energy.
so,
I wonder if the
yes, I felt like the resistance of me pushing and fighting and trying to keep him alive
yes.
was holding him back.
Okay. Interesting concept, because many times, and not to make this a parallel, but often it's said as people are transitioning into death, that their loved ones are staying there, fight, 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 hold on, hold on. And literally I was told, tell her it's okay to go. And so sometimes you give them permission by letting go to do what's needed.
Well, and that was the chance I took.
Yeah.
I let go, and I was completely at peace with what his decision was to
Yes.
stay or go.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even until the next morning that I realized that he had actually improved.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, what did I do? And it was in hindsight that I realized what I had done, which is where I got my 3 steps towards happiness. But let me just also say, though I had this awareness that night in the hospital and what I had done, I slipped into depression after all that. After Connor came home, I now felt it was my duty to keep him alive. So once again, I put in the angst and the resistance and the pressure.
You brought that energy back.
Yeah, because I hadn't fully grasped what I had done in the hospital.
Okay, I'm getting it now.
Yeah. So for 4 years, I isolated myself, and I felt like I just needed to be there in case he needed me. And even though we had nurses coming in every day helping us, I felt up to me to keep him alive.
Wow. Okay.
Until I realized.
Yeah, it's a heavy burden.
It was.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I wasn't happy. And this isn't what I came, like, I want to live. I want to be happy. I want to embrace life. I want to be what I used to be.
And there's so many times that, I mean, many of us just sit back and look around a room. Let's just say you were looking at in a restaurant or something, and we can almost go unhappy, unhappy, unhappy. Ooh, really unhappy. But then you can also point out happy, happy, happy. And once again, you choose to make that choice. And so you have put together, because you call yourself the Happiness Guide, which has a double meaning there. You as the guide personally, but you also have a guide, an actual document to help people at least take those first initial steps.
Yeah, because I can't make you happy.
Yes.
You can only make you happy. I can show you the way, but I can't do the work.
And that's why it's important that people understand, until you make that conscious decision.
And that's what it is.
Yeah. And so I'm asking my audience, okay, you need to go to her website, edieoreilly.com, because you can find the first 3 steps, and get it free, but just enter your email, as we all have to do. But sometimes you just need to be made aware of the simplicity of what change you can make.
Yeah. And it's, through the process of having Connor and all that I've been through, I've realized it's a conscious decision every single day you make to be happy or not.
Yes.
And this 3 steps guide is a small version of my book.
Okay.
So my book goes into a lot more detail about those steps.
Yes.
And what I became aware of as I walked through it.
Yeah, and it's, even though it's so simple, the steps, I mean, literally, it's very simple language that's making a powerful action, a call to action.
It can.
Yeah, but once again, it's their choice to do that.
Yeah.
So what do you think some of the inhibitors are, that why they might not be doing?
Well, I think there's a lot of different reasons why. I can speak for myself and my situation for those 4 years, and having a child with a lot of medical issues.
Yeah.
You feel sorry for yourself. Woe is me, look what happened. I can't fix this. Life is happening to me. And what I realized is life was happening for me.
Oh, okay.
Connor came
Shift.
Connor came for me, not to me.
Okay.
Connor happened for me.
Okay.
And in that small shift, you feel it differently. And when the body speaks, my book is talking about how you feel your truth. And that's how you know you're on the right path.
Very interesting concept. One of my previous guests, Linda Smith, who was with Opportunity Village many years, her son was born with Down syndrome. And she often says, he made me come alive. He made me realize how powerful I can be, advocating for him and doing things for him. And so it's amazing that it might take this outside catalyst, this energy force, even if they might be challenged with health issues and things, their worth that they're bringing to us in the world is showing us the way.
Exactly, and I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, I have a background of self-discovery all my life. I felt like I've always been on that journey of making myself better. And part of that journey has led me into different philosophies of life. And you learn about enlightenment. And to me now, enlightenment means the awareness of the connection that we all are to that pure love that is embedded within everything. And Connor every day is in that flow of pure love. And so my biggest teacher is sitting in a wheelchair.
And
has all those
your
issues.
statements
And
are,
he's absolutely
yes,
perfect.
absolutely parallel, because they're not burdened with all these adult thoughts.
They're not burdened at all.
Yeah, no.
It's us that are burdened.
Yeah, they come with pure curiosity or
the pureness of love. And when he's able to be, he just emits pure love.
Yeah.
And he's a blessing
That's all
to
he
be
knows.
around. Exactly.
Right.
And it's different to be around somebody like that, realizing that they're there to enhance, not just for you, but they're there for their own existence. But he hasn't come to participate like you and me.
No.
He's come to be.
just to be, right. Because
That's it.
Yeah, and
there's value in that.
they
In
have
fact,
no
there's so much more value.
pre-assigned or thoughts about what they are supposed to be,
Exactly.
where they're going. They live for the now.
Yes.
And this is me
Yes.
now.
Yeah, right now,
Now.
and that's your power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That those are powerful thoughts and concepts that anyone out there struggling with not just perhaps having a child or a relative with some type of medical issue, but it overlaps into, are you satisfied at your job? Are you, are you being who you should be? And so does your program, because I'm calling it your guide, Happiness Guide, also overlap into helping people find their happy spot? I'll just call it a happy spot.
Yeah, you don't have to be going through something traumatic to get my message.
Yes.
The message is simple but powerful, as you have said, that it's in realizing that the power is now quite practically and real.
Yes.
It's not just fluffy words.
And I don't want it to sound too simplistic, but it's almost like, let's just turn the switch.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I actually feel like, I've trying to reprogram myself. We're programmed through society. We're programmed through our television. We're programmed through what we're fed all the time. And I connect, and I share this in my book. But it's about you consciously programming yourself.
Yes.
And what you want.
You take the responsibility of guiding your happiness.
Yes.
Happiness.
Yes. Yeah.
You make that.
And whatever that is to you, because happiness means different things to different
absolutely.
people.
Yes. Yes. I was making an assumption. That's
Yes.
what everyone thought. I guess
Right.
you shouldn't-
I make that assumption all the time too.
Whatever your happiness is, because that might not be mine.
That's right.
You
That's right.
I don't like hot dogs, and somebody else might.
That might be your happiness. That's right.
We'll just leave it at that. I'm sorry.
No.
But see, we just had a happy moment. Just had a happy moment. But I went on your website and was like, wow, she's got a lot of, I won't say irons in the fire. She's got a lot of good things evolving.
Yeah, everything.
And so when is your book going to be out?
It will be out in June.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's out in June.
Okay. Because this is June.
Yes.
This is June.
It's out this month.
Okay.
Yes.
You heard it
Yes.
on the show.
It's out this month. It's just through the final editing process right now.
Very good, very good. Because I see it being a real value for people who might feel stuck.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
the
not even
intention.
stuck. They just might not even realize that their being is not what it could be. Which we just did a play on words again.
Yes.
There.
That's good.
But okay, so you have all of this compassion. You've seen how your son has really, I'll say, brought out the best in you, made you find your happiness. You're also sharing that in the community with a great organization, which is called Little Miss Hannah Foundation.
Well, I want to pair up with an organization that makes a big impact in our community.
Okay.
And I was introduced to Little Miss Hannah Foundation when my son needed therapy equipment that our insurance did not cover.
Oh, okay.
And so they offered a way that we could receive equipment that has benefited him greatly.
Absolutely.
That they gave us that way to receive it.
Okay.
And so I support their mission and their goal in helping kids with rare or life-limiting illnesses to better their lives while they're here.
And so it's really looking at any child that has a disability or a challenge where they need some type of support, whether it's equipment or services or parents need whatever. They sort of help fill that gap.
Well, they are mostly for children who have life-limiting illnesses
Okay.
or are
What does life-limiting illnesses mean? Like, just so my audience will
a
understand.
rare genetic disorder or something where my Connor has life limiting. He cannot walk, he cannot talk. So life itself is as you and me act, right? And if you can't act like you and me, you're life limited.
Okay. So it's a what I call a generic definition of anyone who doesn't act like us, and that's sort of sad.
Who aren't typical.
Are we normal?
No.
No.
There is no normal.
No, there is no normal. So they are just have different advantages. I won't even call them need.
Okay.
You come with, it's not a disability.
No.
It's their abilities comes in a different form.
Oh yeah.
Your Connor brought you so much joy.
Yes.
Those were the abilities that he brought.
Exactly.
That's what he was placed here for.
Exactly.
For those
Yeah.
abilities.
That
And
he
so
can give.
I literally heard this statement just recently, and it's not about the disabilities that they bring, it's about the abilities that they bring out in you.
Yes. And I talk about that too. Our value shouldn't be placed on what we do. Our value should be placed on being. Just us being is value.
What your abilities are, not what you can't do. What
And
you can do.
sometimes our abilities are just to be love.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And
that's what Connor
we,
is.
with our arrogant selves, feel that we are the only model of what should be.
Right.
And so we have to get out of that.
Yes, we do. The other thing I wanted to draw attention to is our view of health.
Okay.
And most parents have, and I, even myself, I'm guilty of, sorry, I keep hitting that, that I don't care if my child is born as long as they're healthy. I don't care if they're a boy or a girl as long as they're healthy. That's usually what people will say.
The cliche saying, yeah.
And then when your child comes into this world not quote unquote healthy, so what?
You haven't failed. You haven't done
No.
anything wrong. And it's
No.
not the tragedy of your life.
No.
It's just, this is
In
what's
fact,
going to be.
That's what's going to be. And in fact, that child has the ability to bring out the best in you.
Absolutely.
And
To
Yeah.
give you powers that you never knew.
exactly.
Yeah.
And strength.
And you know, the sayings out there, the higher beings never give you more than you can handle. You just didn't realize that you needed to
couldn't.
handle that.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
it's helping individuals not only find their strength, but find in others their strengths, even if they have life limiting. And we're going to find a new term for even life limiting.
I know. Well, we definitely need a new term for disability.
Yeah.
I hate that term.
And that's why
You're dissing my ability.
Yeah, that's why I loved when I heard the whole speech on it's not about disabilities, it's about their ability to love,
Yes.
ability, and
Yes.
he went through a whole
Yes.
list of the ability to give, the ability to just let sunshine, on their face.
Yes, and appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And we'll start a movement.
Somehow.
Yeah, we'll start a campaign or some type of movement to change.
Focus on abilities.
Get buttons where the disc is scratched off with a
Yes.
red line or something.
Right. I've seen those.
Hey, we can
I
do
have. I've seen those.
that. Okay, so you can order on the website.
I didn't make them. I see them.
Okay, but, I'm trying to help you out here. Okay, so you are launching the book. What type, and I know that you really want to expand your speaking
Yes.
engagements. So what value can you bring to an audience? Who would be your target audience that you want to speak to?
Well, I've thought about this a lot, actually. And I feel like I'd be very beneficial to caregivers, people who actually work with people with other abilities.
Absolutely.
Because from a mother's perspective, how you view my child is very important. And I've been bombarded with caregivers.
Yeah.
So I have that perspective too. But more importantly, I think, is the mother's perspective that, and I'm sure most caregivers see this, every child is so valuable.
Absolutely.
No matter their ability.
Absolutely.
So caregivers.
Okay, so anyone out there that deals with, on a regular basis, has meetings for caregivers, really wants to uplift them and help them do their job better, reach
Thank
out
you.
to Edie O'Reilly, and they can easily find you because your website is your name.
Yes.
Edie O'Reilly with no commas or anything,
No.
just EdieO'Reilly.com. They can find out about your book that is being released this month.
Yes. Yes.
They can download your 3 Steps Toward Happiness document right on
Yep.
the spot,
Yep.
and really stay informed with what's happening in your world and everything you're doing. Any closing takeaways for those out there that maybe are currently going through what also you're going through, finding their happiness?
The awareness that happiness is a choice, and every single day we step towards happiness or we step towards what we are currently doing. And maybe you're stepping towards happiness already, which is great, but consciously keep taking those steps, because happiness begets happiness, right?
Oh, okay.
So when you are
You attract happiness.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. So when you put out there first, like I did in the hospital, I decided I was okay. Once I let go of the resistance of the push, I attracted more of that. And it just keeps going.
Many people don't really believe in the laws of attraction, but it happens so often. How can
You're
you,
doing it all the time
how
anyway.
How can you not believe in synchronicity and the universe
Yeah, it
and
all
laws
happens.
of, because we're all,
Whether you believe it or not.
cells just floating around, and we just happen to be close together, but there's space between all of them. We can all come together.
So it's a choice. Do you want to consciously, do you want to consciously create your future, or do you want to haphazardly create your future? And that's the difference between purposely stepping into happiness every day.
Absolutely. So I want to thank our guest, Edie O'Reilly, for coming on to the show today. You can find all of her information at Edie, that's EDIE, O'Reilly, REILLY.com, and step into your own happiness. This has been the Wealthy Teacher Show with Dr. Victoria Boyd, your host, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.